All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Think Outside the BlueBox podcast, a podcast about creative journeys. We bring on artists. I'm Anthony Rivera, your host today, and I'm the lead videographer here at BlueBox Digital. And today I'm being joined by a good friend of mine. We've actually done quite a bit of work together. He's a professional comedian, professional actor, Mr. Dick Colligan.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on, dude?
It's business time.
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's get down to business. All right.
We've been talking about doing this for a while, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been excited. I was excited before I came in here, and then I saw the situation
setup.
You got here.
The setup, man.
And it is something to behold, let me tell you. It's funny because the last time I was here, we were shooting, I think we did an audition tape for like a commercial. And it was set up completely differently. So I walked in, I'm like, man, is this the same place?
Yeah.
Did I get the address right?
Yeah, we had it
because Google Maps is always screwing me.
Yeah. We had, the green screen set up?
Yeah. Yeah,
it was just a green screen, a couple of lights, and a camera. Now we got like a whole setup here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Multi-camera. So let's start with that, man. Like you've seen a little bit of my journey, kind of, because you met me pretty early in the BlueBox journey. Yeah. That's right. How did we meet?
We met. I was shooting something. I needed to do like slates or something for some slate. Acting website.
Yeah, it was your slate.
And I was on what is it called? The that web. It's like a Angie's List kind of thing. Pushpin. Thumbtack. I was gonna get there eventually. And so we were. I was just like looking for, who's the best in. I was in St. Petersburg at the time, Florida. And I was like, all right, this guy has like 5 stars. He got a lot of good reviews. You can't really. You don't know.
Yeah.
what you're gonna get. But so anyway, we met. And the day we shot, this is a funny story. You remember? I'm sure you remember this.
Yeah.
But my AC broke, and it was. Like July
scalding
in St. Petersburg,
in Florida.
Hottest day of my entire life. And
instead of canceling, we
just went for it.
But
I was sweating so much on camera that we couldn't hide it. And every take I would go off and I would like wipe myself off.
You're a little shiny.
I was so shiny. And then, we did and the takes were really good.
Yeah.
Which was the sad part.
Yeah.
So they were really, really good, but I was just so shiny. I'm like, people like casting directors are going to think that I'm like Richard Nixon. I have like a gland problem.
You got something to hide.
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to book is like, like thyroid treatments or something. So we had to reshoot it. And
that whole shoot was interesting, man, because I remember I had to stop by Walmart and get a black sheet or something to put up on the wall.
Which was, at the end, what was so funny is at the end, I took down the sheet and I was like, you know what? We could have just done it with this wall because there's a bare wall.
It was a white wall.
But I like never shot anything. My manager was just like, go get,
like a professional.
Go get these things done because they need it for one of these casting websites, Actors Access or something. I was like, all right, that's
I gotta get it done.
That's what I gotta do, right? So I did it, and then we met and we stayed in touch, and then I think the next thing we did was my my comedy reel.
Yeah.
With Ian, who you should have on the show, by the way, because he'd be a really good guest.
Yeah, I'd love to have him on.
And actually, I just put it on YouTube. You guys can find it on YouTube. It's Dick Jokes Comedy is my YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and
I love your handle, by the way.
Yeah, I was at a comedy show last night. Someone was like, "No one took that."
Yeah,
I was like, "I don't know."
I got it.
I took it.
Dick Jokes Comedy.
Yeah, there you go. I'm everywhere. And yes, you guys can see it on. It's my comedy reel. We did a parody on a rock star gone wrong. Anthony shot it, and we shot it with my friend Ian Tolson, who played the record producer, who was awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
A guy with no acting experience at all.
He was great. He came in and he knocked it out of the park.
I just thought I wanted something that looked like Rob Corddry, who's like one of my favorite actors. And he nailed it.
Yeah,
he completely nailed
perfect.
it. He almost stole the show.
Yeah.
Actually, my manager, it was funny. We shot it
Did he get the part instead of you?
Anthony sent me the footage. And my manager was like, "It's good, but you're not in it enough."
I remember that.
So
you sent me an email.
you had
like,
to edit it
You're
to
gonna
like
add me more.
have more of my like reaction takes, which was so funny. But this guy,
It's almost like his acting reel.
it could be. I really encourage you guys to go see this thing, Dick Jokes Comedy. It's my stand-up. It's my comedic acting reel, and it's on YouTube. And it is. I mean, this guy blew me away.
Yeah,
he's just a friend of mine. He's just a guy I knew. I was like, he looks fun.
He was good.
And he wore like a suit, and he completely looked the part, and he was like 2 takes.
Yeah, the first one was a little awkward.
Crushed
but
it.
The second one, he was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had to do it again because I was like, we did it. We reversed the roles because I was like, dude, you're like,
Yeah, you're gonna have to get more
so
lines, man.
good. Like, they might actually want us to switch the roles,
Yeah.
so we did it. We did another take, and then we just stayed in touch after that, and
Yeah, now you're in my short film, man.
yeah, and then we
Let's
we
talk
did
about
color.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which I'm really excited about. It's this really cool family project that Anthony's doing.
Yeah, it's just a self-funded short film. It's the first short film original by BlueBox. It was written by a good buddy of mine, Tim Adams. Shout out to Tim Adams if he's out there. He's a really creative guy, man, and he's always just written stuff, and he's a huge movie buff. And him and I bonded over like Doctor Who and like just nerd stuff. And then one day he's like, I have a ton of scripts that I've never really shown to anybody. I'm like, let me take a look. And yeah, he's a super creative guy, and yeah, he gave me the rights to do. I actually have 3 of them that I'm gonna shoot. That's just the first one. So.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
Should we talk about the behind the scenes with the
Yeah.
shower curtain?
Yeah. So yeah, let's take a look at that. So we shot at Wilson's Book World, which is a bookstore in St. Pete.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. If you're in St. Petersburg,
great place.
Go check out Wilson's Book World. This
Yeah.
place is like a time warp.
Yeah, it's like walking into like the 60s, the 50s and 60s. It was great. Like even the security cameras were like the vintage cameras.
Yeah, I don't
even know if they worked.
worked.
Yeah. They were just decorations. But yeah, it's a great place. The only problem that we ran into is that because of COVID, they had a shower curtain basically covering the entire front desk, and that's basically where we had to shoot most of our shots with the old man and stuff. So we got what we got, and it looks okay, but it's not like I'm not okay with it. I'm not happy with it. So I'm gonna schedule another shoot here, hopefully in the end of January, that we can kind of reshoot that.
But it's so funny because the story was we got in there and we go in. We don't know that there's a shower curtain literally draped over the register to prevent someone from dying from COVID.
Yeah.
And they get on the we walk in there and Anthony's like to the owner's in the store because he's not gonna let us in there unsupervised.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, hey, this is great, but can we take down the shower curtain because it's a little bit distracting?"
At least for the shoot,
Yeah,
at least
and
for
we'll
like
put
an
it
hour
back
or
up.
two.
And she's like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah, no. She's like, my husband would kill me if I let you do that. So yeah, we just kind of have to deal with it.
Which I would like to see the original footage of how you manage that, because there's no way. I mean, you walk in, this thing is prominently featured in the middle of the store. There's like no getting around it. So I really want to see how you
and they cut this hole out just the size of just a couple books, I guess, so you could just put it on the counter.
Yeah.
But that was it. So I had to shoot through the hole, get really creative with the shots.
Well, when we release the movie, we'll do like a behind the scenes.
Yeah. What is it? The cut scenes?
Yeah.
The ones that didn't make it onto the
director's cut.
Yeah, director's cut.
But that was funny. So yeah, anyway, so my whole story is I always wanted to be an actor, and then I just kind of got away from it because I was like, oh, how am I going to make any money? Right. So then I went to school. I studied finance.
Where did you go?
I went to GW.
Okay.
George Washington University.
Gotcha.
in DC, and I came out and I was really into it, and so I was like, all right, I want to go work on
What
Wall
did you
Street.
major in?
Finance. And then I did that for 7 or 8 years in New York, And then when COVID came to town, I came down to St. Petersburg where my family had a house because New York was just a disaster.
Yeah, it was a
It
wreck.
was such a mess. It still
Especially
is.
in the beginning.
Yeah, but it's better now. But it was
Yeah.
it was just like desolate.
It was crazy.
and
Yeah,
depressing.
it was one of the hot spots. I mean, it was the hot spot.
Yeah, it was like I
It
felt
was
like
that in
Kurt
LA.
Russell in Escape from New York.
Yeah, seriously.
It was insane.
Everything
And I had the
locked
hair
down.
too because you couldn't get a
Oh my
haircut.
God. How did that, like, when you were there when everything broke out?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
how did everything go down?
It's so funny because I was at a fundraiser in early March 2020, and we were like reading the news, and like Wall Street is so like futuristic and forward thinking in terms of like what is going to happen and how it's going to impact my money, but nobody saw it coming at all. There was like one hedge fund that saw it coming. Everyone else was like, all right, it's going to be like the original SARS, which was not a big deal in the US.
I heard that so many times in the beginning. It's like, it's just SARS. It's just another,
And so
it
nobody
just
really
feels
took it
bigger
seriously,
than that.
including me. I was like, all right, whatever. This is like not going to be that big a deal.
Yeah.
And then it like February, March, but I was at a fundraiser in March with like 500 people.
Hundreds of people,
At Cipriani Wall Street,
Wow.
which is like this like really glamorous downtown restaurant. And I mean, this had a ton of really like influential people. And I mean, there was 500 to 800 people there. And I'm like, 2 weeks later, they shut down the entire city. So I'm like, what happened?
Like, was I exposed?
Yeah. And probably everyone was
Yeah.
at that point. I think I actually had it.
I think by the time they shut everything down, everybody already...
Yeah.
It was already circulating.
Yeah,
for
exactly. Like I'm
months,
pretty sure I
so-
had it in December 2019 because I was like,
Yeah, me too.
you know, like brutally ill.
Me too.
Anyway, so it was like I was there until I think I stayed until April.
What was the like
April,
final
May,
straw?
or June, and it was just like you couldn't do anything.
couldn't do
Everything was
that.
closed.
You had to stay home.
Yeah, you know, there was no. And so at this point, I've been doing stand-up comedy for 2020. So I've been doing it for 2 years on the side, and I used to rehearse my act in the conference room of my office, like at night.
Yeah.
And and then I'd go downtown like Mrs. Maisel's husband
Nice.
in the show, and I would do the act like in my suit from work or whatever. People were
Get
like,
outta
what is
here.
this guy doing? The only one in the suit. And so I've been working on stuff, and I really liked it, and but I couldn't do it because like they closed all the comedy clubs, like everything was closed. I mean, everything except grocery stores.
Wow.
And so
Just
I came.
the essentials.
Yeah, exactly. And so I came down to St. Petersburg in like June, I think, of 2020. And I was like, this is amazing. I mean, it was still.
You said that you already had family.
Yes,
there?
we had a house
Okay,
down there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask like why St. Pete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is awesome. And it wasn't like everything was open, but it was a lot more open than in New York.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you know,
for
I could
sure.
go to the gym.
Yeah, for sure. Florida's always been a little bit more lax in that sense.
There's a great Ron, you know, Ron White, the comic.
Yeah.
It's a great story that he had where he was like, he got arrested in Florida for like possession of something. And he was like, man, I've been partying in Florida for years. I didn't even know they had laws. And that's pretty much,
It feels that way, man.
that's pretty much Florida.
Yeah, it feels that way. I know me personal experience. Like I travel the whole state, so I see everything. And as soon as I know Tampa and St. Pete are pretty good about wearing masks and you know taking the precautions and all that stuff. But as soon as you leave here, man, the rest of the state, it's like another world. Like it doesn't even exist. Like COVID just never hit Florida, man.
It's like a hurricane.
Yeah.
Went over the
Like
Gulf.
bring it on. Yeah.
It traveled up east and hit New York instead. So that was, you know, that was in June, and then we started working together, and I was down here for like 7 months until.
Yeah, I was surprised when you texted me and you're like, yeah, I'm back in New York. I'm like, whoa.
Well, they sold the house.
Okay.
They sold the condo that we
Gotcha.
were shooting in, and so I had to leave, and I was still paying rent in New York the whole time. I still had this apartment.
Oh wow, yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to go back there. I'm not going
Yeah.
to pay, you know, for two places or
Yeah.
whatever. And it was like a little bit better in New York at that time. It was February 21. And then
It's
I
a
was
little bit more relaxed.
yeah,
Yeah.
but not
Still.
by much. And I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I know what's going to happen. I know they're going to be, you know, it's like, you know, they're going to make everyone do all this stuff and get shots and whatever. And I'm like, I'm just not going to, I tasted the promise. You know what I mean? I tasted the forbidden fruit. That's the problem. If I'd never gone to Florida and I just like, you know, been like holed up like a hermit in my apartment for, you know, a year and a half. Yeah. I probably would have been okay. But I was like, no, now I was like Adam in the, you know, Garden of Eden. I was like, I've tasted the forbidden fruit. I've talked to the snake. There's no going back. And so I moved down here, in, July of 21.
Okay.
So it's been 6 months. And
you're here to stay, right?
I'm here to stay, baby.
Good, man.
No more taxes.
No more state taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, it's been awesome. You know, I love it. You know, I found the cool thing about coming down here, and I knew there was like some film and TV down here.
Yeah. But
there's so much more than I thought there was going to be. You know, and there's such great comedy down here. I mean, there's so many awesome comics. I met like these amazing guys. There's, you know.
Yeah, you actually referred me to John Jacobs.
Yeah, you met John.
Yeah, if awesome. You guys haven't seen that episode, he was actually one of my guests here on the podcast, and he was fantastic. He's a great comic.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's one of the only guys I've ever seen at an open mic where like he just cracked up the entire room.
Everybody out.
Because open mics are like you're not really there. I mean, sometimes they're good, but it's very.
And they're not there for you. You know, they're just kind of
usually there. No. Usually you're just like doing comedy in front of a bunch of comedians who don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like there's an audience there who paid to go see and be entertained. Yeah. It's like, we want to do my 5 minutes and get out of here.
Yeah. Like your practice round.
Yeah. So if you can do that, if you can break up a room of like comics, you're doing something right.
Dude, what cracked me up about him was the outdoor specials that he does. Like he actually did one at Curtis Hickson Park here in downtown Tampa. He's just with his little speaker and mic, and he is fucking hilarious.
He's just, I mean, the guy's just naturally gifted.
Funny.
He's just a gifted comedian. So anyway, he was like, you know, that was one of those guys, but you just run into these guys.
Yeah.
You know, I was down in Coconuts in Madeira Beach by St. Pete Beach. And this guy, Daryl Lennox, showed up, who's like, you know, been on Conan or whatever.
Wow.
Just did 10 minutes, like completely unscripted, and was killer.
Nice.
You know, and like, you do have that in New York sometimes, but it's so fractured. It's like such a big market, right? Yeah. And there's so many clubs and everyone's all over the place.
So many, yeah. It's a little bit saturated up there.
Yeah. So, you know, there's been all these kind of like added benefits to being down here that I never really counted on. You know, meeting you, obviously being a big one, but there's such an amazing like creative community that I didn't really count on.
Especially in this area.
Yeah, especially Tampa.
Like Tampa, St. Pete area is just, the creativity's off the charts, man. There's like murals everywhere. There's just the art, the culture is just great. Yeah,
I mean the town is booming. There's great restaurants. There's awesome tons of music.
Yeah, there's great food.
Yeah, the food is awesome. You know, so there's so many like great things that have happened. I think a lot of that is people coming from other areas to be here to escape what's going on in the rest of the place where there are laws.
It's funny you say that because a lot of my clients, especially for the last year, have been people from New York, like just moving down here and just just literally selling everything that they own and just property and everything, and then just coming down here. And there's been a huge influx.
Yeah,
not just from New York, man. Like from Texas, California. Is just, I call it the mass migration.
Right.
And you I'm sure you've seen it around the town. Like the traffic's gotten way worse.
Yeah, like. For sure. Yeah, I know. That's the negative part.
It's also because of the Bucks too, man.
Yeah, and no one from New York can drive.
Yeah.
You noticed that?
Yes, I have.
It's funny. The first thing I saw when I came down here was like everybody speeds.
Yeah.
It's like the law.
Yeah.
But
if you don't speed, you get home.
Yeah, but it's never the cars that you think are going to be going the fastest that you got to worry about, like the Maserati or like a Lamborghini. I'm not kidding. The other day I saw a hearse.
Get out of here.
Doing 170 miles an hour.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I was like,
what's
the hurry, man? The guy's already dead.
Yeah, right.
What do you think? They're going to start the funeral without him?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
They got to wait for the guy.
This is a car that's sole purpose is transporting dead people. What is it doing with that kind of horsepower?
It's nuts, man. It's not, and Miami's even worse. Have you been to Miami?
Not in a while.
It's a lot worse, man.
I've heard Miami is now New York.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Just wild drivers everywhere. It's just it's a different world, man.
Well, there are no laws in Florida, so people just come down here and do whatever they want. It's amazing. The two biggest industries in Florida that I've discovered are injury lawyers and like churches. Yeah, there's churches that are like a city block wide.
Dude, you're in the Bible Belt.
This is amazing.
Yeah, you're in the Bible Belt.
It is. But the lawyers, I mean, it makes sense because there are no laws. So I think they just write their own laws and then they just take people to court and arrest them.
Pretty much.
Essentially,
that's it.
But yeah, it's great. So it's been working with you. On Color was awesome. I've got another thing coming up. I'm doing a Western down in Sarasota.
Nice. Can you talk about
March?
that?
Yeah, it's called The Hanging of William Kane.
Oh, nice. I think I have heard of that.
It's gonna be like an old school Western.
Nice.
I'm playing William Kane.
Nice.
So I'm not gonna put any spoilers out there.
Nice.
Gotta see it. I'm working with a director named Preston Walden.
Okay.
And a
he's
writer producer. Yeah. I believe he's in Tampa. RJ Hendricks. Great group of guys.
That's awesome.
So I'm doing that one. I have an audition for a spy thing coming up.
You're blowing up, man.
With Cora, who I'm going to introduce you to.
Yeah.
She's up in Ocala, Florida. But yeah, there's this incredible group. And I was doing stand up last night, talking with someone who does casting, and she knows all these producers and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Coming down here, I was like, I'm just trying to.
Yeah.
I'm like a refugee, basically.
Just fleeing your hometown.
Yeah, basically. But it's been great, and the comedy's great down here. The film stuff is great. So
I'm glad that the film industry is starting to look at Florida a little bit more, because it was good for a while, but then like the tax incentives just weren't there.
It was taxes. That's the thing.
Yeah. So then that's when kind of Georgia kind of took over the East Coast film industry. But I'm glad that it's kind of coming back to Florida, and I hope that I'm playing a part in that as well. Yeah. I don't know a lot of filmmakers here in the Tampa Bay area, so hopefully we can, bring in some more talent and get more projects going.
Well, you've been like going crazy.
Oh, dude.
I mean, every time I talk to you, you got
wild.
Something else going on.
It's wild. I average about 3 to 4 shoots a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little busy.
And is it just you and Tristan?
Tristan helps me when I need an assistant or something. If the shoot is big enough, or if there's like a lot of gear and stuff, I'll bring him along. And there's a couple other guys that I kind of outsource to when I can't, when I'm overbooked or something. But 99% of the stuff on the website is just me.
Wow, that's nuts. Yeah, and then we got this. So this other movie I'm working on was supposed to shoot in L.A. Last fall. Then they were going to move it down here because LA was just not open. Now they're going to do it in Sri Lanka. And I was telling you about this. So I was
That's a cool project.
I was recommending you, to be like the DP if they were going to shoot in Tampa. Yeah. But you might be getting a shot in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, for 3 months. I'll take it.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough work, but someone's got to do it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I
mean, my kids are old enough that they can be self-sufficient. I could leave for 3 months.
There you go. Yeah. They can come visit.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it's things have been awesome. I left the corporate world back in September.
What's the last company that you worked for?
Last company I worked for was a Japanese investment bank called Nomura.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of Nomura.
Yeah, and it was awesome. I mean, I really liked it. I loved the people that I was working with. I mean, I was really there for the sushi primarily.
Yeah. Is that?
We had a sushi bar in the office.
Nice.
It was insane with 2 sushi.
Cool.
It was like no, and it was like the rumor was they flew in the sushi they flew in the fish like from Japan, which I'm not even sure is like possible, but it was some darn good sushi.
That's crazy. And it's just for free for all the employees?
No, but it was like subsidized, so it was like cheaper than what you would normally pay.
That's still crazy, man.
But yeah, all the holiday parties and stuff had like the live sushi chef, so it was tough to give that up, but. I'd always wanted to do this, and I was like, you know what? I've been working on it for a while. I got a manager. I'm getting some traction. I just got this movie. Like, let's just go for it. Yeah. And just see what happens. And every time I've done that, good things have happened.
Yeah.
You know, it can be a little scary
A little bit.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's just our human nature, man. We're always fearful of the unknown, and it's, I don't know, dude. I did the same thing. I had the corporate job. I did the corporate thing, and I the 9 to 5 and all that stuff. And like like you said, it's just hard to give up the benefits because it's like that steady paycheck and all that stuff. And
security.
The security, and that you're just kind of turning your back on that almost.
Yeah.
For something that is not 100% sure, but it's something that you're passionate about, man. And when you're passionate about something, you know, you just put yourself out there, and you'll find an audience.
Right.
You find an audience eventually.
Right. As long as you're having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if you're having fun, you like what you're doing, you know what I mean? You're interacting with cool people.
You got to treat it as professional. You know, you got to treat it as your job, because it is.
It is.
It is.
But it's fun because you're working for yourself.
Amen.
You know? Yes. You know, like, look, you've built this, you know, empire.
Yes.
Here.
This is just the beginning, man.
Yeah,
I'm just getting started.
I know. You've got so much stuff going on, but it's, you know, it's a lot of work, and I'm sure you're working probably way more than you worked, in the corporate world.
Yeah. Way more. But it's enjoyable work.
Yeah.
And like, I don't see it as work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I love doing it so much that it's just not, it really doesn't feel like work, man. Like, sometimes I'll start editing and it'll be like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be like, holy crap, I got to get some sleep.
Yeah.
And I lose track of time because I love it so much.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up in terms of like projects?
Projects is just color, the short film. I have some animation projects that I've been working on. I've been doing the BlueBox shorts. Yeah, I've been
watching them. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, the BlueBox shorts. Those are just like little like funny clips that I put together.
But how do you do that? Is it like CGI?
The character itself is 2D, and that's actually done with a program. It's part of the Adobe suite. It's Adobe Character Animator. So
shout out to Adobe.
Adobe, yeah.
Let's get some sponsorship on it.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's blow this thing up.
But it's cool because Character Animator does facial capture and it does body capture.
Oh, cool.
So it's like this 2D character, you're actually just standing up and acting it out, and it follows your mouth when you're doing the lip sync and stuff. So yeah, it's really cool. I'm actually going to go live on BlueBox Digital TikTok as my puppet. As the cartoon. So I'm going to be doing that.
That's so cool.
If you're not following, follow along at BlueBox Digital on TikTok.
Yeah, check him out. Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, BlueBox Digital for my folks. He's got cool stuff. You do like a bunch of things every week. It's like really
I do
fun,
everything,
entertaining.
Man.
Yeah,
I do everything. It's
this
just
guy's everywhere.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be scrolling through social media and I'll see something like on audio that makes me laugh, and I'm like, yeah, let's just make something with that. You know, I just have fun with it, and I involve my kids too, which is big.
Yeah.
You know, I get them involved in that. Once they see the video go out, and it's like, holy crap, I worked on that. You know, it's awesome, man. I love it.
You made it.
I love it.
So we're gonna reshoot color.
Yeah, we're gonna reshoot hopefully by the end of the year. I'm trying to get in contact with the bookstore owner. That's the only scene we have left, man. I've shot pretty much everything. I just need that bookstore scene, which is the main one.
The other bookstore, right?
Yes,
not the one with the shower.
Yeah, the other bookstore. Yeah, yeah, because I'm sure they still have that COVID safety stuff. And yeah, I already talked to this other guy. It's up in Dade City, and he's gonna get it ready for us. There's no shower curtain. There's no and there's no windows.
Did you have to ask if there was a shower curtain?
Yeah, I did. I was like, you guys don't have any COVID like plexi walls or anything like that? He's like, no, we're good, man.
Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
That was so funny walking in there, like.
Yeah, and the new bookstore, there's no windows. So you remember the other place we had to kind of cover because there was a shit ton of windows, so that light was bleeding right into the shots. Yeah. It's just a better spot. Yeah, it'll be a better spot, but yeah, and then hopefully I'll start shooting the next one. But it's basically about it's a monologue basically, because it's only one person, but it's sitting in the back of an Uber. That's the one I wanted you for. You
told me about that one.
Yeah, that's the one I want you for.
Yeah. That's a cool story.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
one. I'm excited to read the script.
Yeah, I kind of told him a little bit of what it's about, and there is a twist ending, but I'm not going to go into it here.
Yeah, we don't. No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers.
No spoilers on the show.
Alert. Speaking of spoilers, man, let's kind of switch over to the movie industry. Have you seen Spider-Man?
Not yet. No. I'm still trying to figure out. Like, I think I want to go see it in the theater.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
You should. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it twice already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're an effects guy.
Yes.
So Anthony, for those who don't know, Anthony Vera at BlueBox Digital, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, is a video effects specialist. and you went to Full Sail.
Yeah, that basically what I went to school for.
Yeah.
Not Full Sail. It was the International Academy of Design.
Okay.
And it was for animation. So I actually have a bachelor's degree
Wow.
in animation, which is basically what VFX is. So yeah, I have a degree in it. I've worked in a few VFX projects. Nothing like super major yet, but that's what I'm kind of trying to do with my short films. Color is very heavy on the effects, or it's going to be very heavy on the effects. And then some of the other projects that I'm working on too have pretty decent effects. But yeah,
right. Okay, so that's your that's my thing, your specialty.
Yeah.
Right. So so it's going to be interesting to see how that comes into play with this thing that you're telling me about. I'm sorry, I think I cut you off.
No, it's good.
Beforehand,
it don't matter.
But so there's that one, which is coming up, which is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to someone else who's looking for an effects person. But
I remember.
I'm
that.
I don't know if this guy has time.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's the time. Like, if it's worth my time, I'll do it. But right now, I got to be a little bit picky about the projects that I take on.
Yeah.
Because I'm only one guy. I wish I could just clone myself.
Seriously, me too.
Yeah,
the world needs more dicks.
I agree.
There's not enough.
I agree. You're hilarious, man.
Yeah, it's it's part of the job. I mean, I always say like the jokes are just too easy.
Yeah,
it's not really so much a name as like a disclaimer.
Yeah,
So in case anyone tries to like cancel me or I get Me Too'd, I'm like, look, it's right in the name, guys.
It's always been there.
I put it up front. I was fully transparent. You know what I mean?
I even named it Dick Jokes Comedy.
You can't, what can you say after that?
Yeah, right.
Right. You signed up for this, pretty much.
I just saw you at the Church of Scientology, man. That was a good show.
Yeah. That was fun.
You put them together?
Yeah.
You put shows together?
Yeah. So I know, those are all guys that I know from comedy clubs all around the area.
Just guys that you've worked with in the past?
Guys that I've seen, chatted with after shows
awesome.
and stuff. And it was just like, you guys are awesome. It was the second show that we did. The first one was in October of 21.
Yeah, and I remember you invited me to that one. I couldn't make it to that one.
Yeah, that was really fun. I think it's the second one was even better.
Yeah.
But
it'll get better.
It's a great space. I mean, they've got like killer effects in the room, and
the audio, the AV system was cool. Yeah,
it's so good. I mean, it's like better than most comedy clubs that I've been to.
Yeah.
So I was like, and they came up to me and they're like, hey, we're thinking about doing this show. And I was like, yeah,
heck yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
And I reached out to a bunch of people and like everyone said yes. They were like, yeah, let's go.
Do it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I that was the first time I ever hosted a show, which I really liked.
You didn't host the last one?
Well, the first one in October was the first one I did.
Oh, okay.
The first time or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then I did the last one too.
Yeah.
But it was a really good time, and a good room and lots of good energy, and
yeah, it was really good.
Food and stuff, and you were there. Tristan was there. Everyone I talked to pretty much loved it.
Showed up,
afterwards. So we want to try to do some more, and because I don't think Tampa has a lot of great comedy. But one of the things about comedy,
we got the improv.
Yeah. You got the improv. You got Side Splitters.
Yeah. Forgot about them.
There's a bunch of other clubs. There's stuff in St. Pete with Spitfire.
I've never been to that one.
You got Coconuts in Madeira Beach, St. Pete Beach, and these clubs have been around for a long time.
And they get headliners, man. They got the good names.
Well, that's the thing is there's been a huge renaissance. I don't know if it's a renaissance. I wasn't here before, but. When everything was closed in New York, all these comics just came back. All these big headlining comics came down here because they couldn't go. Perform. It was like Florida, Nashville, and Texas was where you could do stand-up comedy, live stand-up comedy. And so I think Tampa was a huge beneficiary. I mean, Side Splitters they've expanded to the Grove in Wesley Chapel, this new theater that they partnered with.
Yeah, I like that
they're
one.
doing stuff at Coastal Creative down in St. Pete.
Nice.
So I think there's just been a huge surge in.
Yeah, John. I was talking to John, and he said that when COVID first hit, they were only closed for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, he told me that he just had a bunch of videos that he just hadn't edited, so he was still putting out content through the pandemic. And then whenever it came back, I was like, all right, we're back.
Yeah. And I was like, it was funny because when I was down here, I was doing, open mics and stuff like that. And then I went back to New York after after they sold the house. And it was like, I talked to all these New York comics. They hadn't been on stage in like a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow.
Like, what do you do? Like,
well, they were doing Zoom shows.
That's wild,
Which
man.
was,
That's crazy.
If anyone's been on a Zoom show.
It's like the timing is all weird and like.
Man, if anyone's been on a Zoom comedy show, that is open. You think open mics are hard? Try doing an open mic where nobody can talk.
Yeah, right? With a mask on.
Yeah, it was just a weird
surreal, man.
Weird time. But that's all they were doing.
It's surreal, yeah.
And it's hard to just understand. I mean, it's hard to really see how the audience is going to react to your stuff when you're doing it, through...
you don't get that feedback.
Yeah.
That instant...
And being in a live room, like even watching comedy on Netflix or something like that is great. But when you're doing it...
But you still get the laugh track. You still get that audience.
When you're in the room with the person, there's something about that shared experience that, it's like live theater and all, any, live concert, live music, whatever. Yeah. There's just there's nothing like it, and it
doesn't translate well.
Yeah, it's a different, it's a different format.
Yeah.
So the Zoom thing I think was really tough. And so I was lucky that I was able to, do stand up down here. And then I ended up, it's funny enough because I ended up doing Zoom plays.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, didn't you do something over Zoom?
Yeah, so I did Antigone, like an adaptation of Antigone with Deborah.
Nice.
Who was on the live right now. And she was, and basically with all these other people, and Antigone is like this Greek classic, classic Greek tragedy. Not going to spoil it, even though it's been around for like 1,000 years. So,
No spoilers.
If you haven't had a chance to get to it, that's really on you. But yeah, so basically we were doing, I auditioned for it, and I was playing the boyfriend of the main character, Antigone. And it was really cool. And then right after that, they asked me to do another one, which was Christmas Carol. And
who did you play in that one?
Also on Zoom, I played the narrator, Charles Dickens.
Nice. Okay.
So I was playing like a 70-year-old British man, which was like, I mean, you talk about a stretch.
Yeah, right.
Stretch role. That was about the biggest stretch I think.
To make your voice.
I could have. Yeah, I had to talk low, like I was an old British gentleman, talking about the world of Charles Dickens.
Nice.
19th century Victorian England. It was a very different time. For all of us. And
is that recorded somewhere? I want to watch that.
They don't record them.
Oh, no.
I know. So many people were like, I want to see you try to be
I want to see that.
An 80-year-old British guy. I was like, no. You're out of luck. It was really fun, though. We had an unbelievable cast. It was directed by Andrew James Blydner. I don't know if he's on this. AJ Blydes on Instagram. Awesome director, amazing cast. We had Paul Stopson, I think is his name, like pretty well known film and TV actor. Played Scrooge, and he was unbelievable. I mean, I watched from the first rehearsal. This guy just knocked it out of the park. Jeff Burt at Jeff Burt actor on here was amazing. He played. He wasn't Cratchit. He was like Scrooge's nephew.
Okay.
But there were so many unbelievable actors on there, and I was like, wow. And it was a Zoom thing, so like there's a whole other. It's the same thing with comedy. I mean, it's like there's like another hurdle you have to kind of get through, right? Of like, are people's cameras on? Or, are people muting at the right time?
And the internet speeds of everybody is different. So
exactly.
Sometimes you get the delay.
Yeah, but this cast was unbelievable. So that was fun, and
that's cool.
Hopefully we're going to do some live theater. At some point. But
I'm glad Broadway opened up again.
Yeah, Broadway's back.
Thank God.
So there's, but I think with all this Omicron stuff, people are freaking out. So it's like Florida kind of is leading the pack in terms of like, look, be smart, right? Be an adult, don't be crazy. Yeah. Don't go out, and start like licking doorknobs.
Like sneezing on people.
yeah, exactly. But it's been awesome, and I'm really excited for this Western coming up. I'm doing horse riding.
Nice. Okay. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I have. That was one of the things I think that got me the part. I had done that before.
That's cool. Where are you guys shooting that?
Sarasota, Florida. Yeah, like
Nice.
an hour and a half south of where I am, maybe 2 hours south of here.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
Horse country, beautiful, God's
Nice.
country.
What a place to shoot that.
Yeah, right. And then hopefully the spy thing will be in like February, and then we'll do color at the end of January, and then we'll do Sri Lanka in May, and then just ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, man. That's it. That's a wrap.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be awesome. But it's it's been an awesome journey for the last I guess 4 years ago is when I started doing stand up. In the last really year and a half is when I came down here and started working on auditioning for film and TV. And I'm like, I didn't
Yeah.
It's funny because I had the idea a long time ago. I was like, this is what I want to do, and I didn't really
like even in New York
do
you
anything
didn't
with
pursue.
it. I started taking acting classes like 3 years ago.
In New York?
In New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I went to the T. Schreiber studio
Okay.
in Chelsea, and I took a class on Method and Meisner.
Nice.
Neither of which I liked.
No.
But it's like you just start doing things, right? And I mean the thing is like for comedy or for anything, hey Garima, any of those things, it's like you just gotta go for it. Start before you're ready, dive in.
Yeah, you're never gonna be 100% ready.
You're never gonna be.
Yeah, you just gotta.
Never
dive
gonna be
in.
perfect.
Yep. Just dive in and then get better.
Yeah, my first open mic, I had all these jokes. I've been writing jokes for like 6 months.
Yeah.
I had like probably 20 minutes of material. And so I'm going to go and do this open mic. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know. I knew where it was.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. And I had this like perfect set, that I had like rehearsed, and I was all ready to go. I get up there and I just bombed for 3 minutes straight. I mean, nothing. Like somebody coughed. Crickets. And it sounded like there was thunder. And then I finally landed a joke, and I was like, all right, that's the
around,
feeling. You know what I mean? And then now that's like the needle in the arm. Now I'm addicted. But had I known that's what it was going to be, like I had this idea, like, oh, I'm going to go in there, and this stuff is so good, and I really, I'm really going to connect with the audience, and I'm going to be the next Seinfeld. And
until you get in front of the audience,
and it's like everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face, right? Mike Tyson.
I like that.
But you never know.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen if you stay with it. If you kind of like follow the North Star or whatever.
Yeah. If you don't put yourself out there, you'll never know.
Exactly.
You miss all the shots you never take.
Yeah, and if you're not failing, you're not trying. Basically, like failure is the key to success in a lot of cases.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
I actually had my brother on the podcast, and he said failure is where the lessons are. Like you can't be successful without failures.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like. You just have to be okay with it, and not even be okay with it. You have to kind of embrace it. Like it's part of the process.
Yeah.
Like bombing.
There's nothing. God, there's no worse.
There's nothing worse.
There's no worse.
I've never been on stage, but I can just imagine.
Well, because you have no one else to blame.
Yeah. You're just, all eyes are on you.
It's like you wrote it, you rehearsed it, you performed it, and it didn't work.
And it bombed like crazy.
And it was a complete, utter catastrophe.
Disaster.
But
you're better for it.
Yeah, you are better for it, and you do that enough. I mean, everyone does it. Yeah. Everyone is bombed.
Yeah. Even John, I was talking to John, and he said that the first couple of times he bombed, but it's part of it. So
yeah, and I was
you know what not to do.
That's right. But also you get you build up calluses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like your
skin gets tougher.
You learn to like you don't get frozen.
Yeah.
You don't get stage fright, right? Because that's
the worst.
That's the biggest thing. It's like you get
that's
afraid when you get up there on stage. I'll never forget
that anxiety.
The first time I got up there, because you can't see.
Yeah.
You can't see anybody. It's so
because
the lights are so
face.
bright and everything else is black, right? So you have no idea what's out there. Basically, you're just like telling jokes into the abyss. And when there's no one saying anything, it's like you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like did I enter like a like a zero gravity like tube? Did I like transport to an alternate dimension?
Yeah.
But that's
like, am I having a stroke right now? Like,
am I hallucinating? What's going on? But that's what it is, and that's part of the fun, though. I mean, if you couldn't do that, then the highs wouldn't be as high. And, so I think it's like that with anyone. It can be doing, a board meeting or a presentation or, any of those things. It's like you never get to experience the joy unless you're willing to take the pain.
I like that. I like that. You can't experience the joy if you don't experience the pain.
That's right. I'm copyrighting that.
I like that.
At Dick Joe's Comedy. But
you
it's
heard
so
it here
true,
first,
man.
guys.
It's so true. And like, you know, it's just, when you get to work with great people on projects that you care about, you know, and hopefully are meaningful. Like I try to do stuff that's meaningful that I like, and I think has a, you know, good message and things like that. Then it's more really
authentic
fun
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're able to put more of you know, yourself into that character because you relate. And I've worked with a lot of people that as soon as you turn on the camera, it's like they freeze. Like, yeah. They turn into a completely different person.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's crazy, man.
I don't know.
As soon as that red light comes on, it's like...
Well, that's why you got to start young.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of really good actors are young. Because when you're young, you don't really care as much. Mm-hmm. You know, like... I think even whatever. Now... It's like falling down, right? Like a little kid falls down. It could like shatter his like skull and, you know, whatever. Yeah. Heal in half the time of like an adult. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not even like remember it. Yeah. Right? Whereas like if you or I fall down, like break our hip. Yeah, we're gonna hurt. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a long road back. You know, it's the same thing if like emotionally, right? If you like fall down, you like you bomb something and like, you know, oh my God, so bad, or your movie doesn't do well or whatever. And it's like, you know, now I got so much riding on this because I got like, you know,
I've hyped it up so much.
I got bills to pay, and you know, people are watching, and I care about, you know, how I'm perceived or whatever. So like, yeah, but when you're a kid, like I did play when I was in high school, and it was like, I was concerned about how I did, but I was like, oh, this is fun. Yeah. You know? It was more about the fun. Yeah. It was more like, I get to do this now. Yeah. It was like, oh, let's try it out. Let's see what happens. Yeah. You know, I'm not invested at all. Yeah. Right? If I'm terrible, then I'll never do it again. Yeah. And probably nobody will remember. Yeah, exactly. Like, you'll never see these people again. Yeah. And most of the time, no one's really paying attention. Anyway, everyone has their own stuff going on. Yeah, everybody's thinking that everybody's... Unless you're on Instagram live. Yeah, right. They are hopefully paying attention. They're all judging you. Yeah, exactly. But, you know, most of the time, people really just don't care. Yeah, you're all in your head about it, and it's like people aren't even thinking about you. No. It's like... Or they thought about you for 10 seconds. Yeah. And then they're like, all right. Thought about their grocery list. Yeah. They got their own shit going on. Or the hearse that, you know, is driving 170 miles an hour that just cut them off on the freeway. Or whatever. Can you imagine if he gets into a car accident? Well, it's convenient. Just put him in the back. The driver is already in the hearse. Yeah. Just, you know, open the trunk, throw him in there. Wow. Look at his GPS, see where that was going. Just drive there. Just can you tow this to the cemetery real quick? Yeah, exactly. Here, the address is in here. Wow. It's a little beat up, but you can still see it. We're going to get canceled, man. It's in the name, guys. Yeah. It says Dick Jokes, okay? It's in the name. You should have known. You should have known. Full transparency. That's the thing that I don't miss from the corporate world is like the, you know, tiptoeing around. Oh, yeah. Like, you got to be politically correct. I can't say this. Or I can't. And like, I don't want to offend people. I'm not out here to... You're not there for that. Yeah, I don't want to make somebody feel bad. The point of this stuff is to make people feel good. Exactly. You know, but like, if you say a joke, it's a joke. You know, it's not... No one's intending to upset people. The political correctness nowadays, man, I think it's kind of... I wouldn't say ruined comedy, but it's kind of put a stopper on it a little bit because there's certain things you just can't talk about on stage anymore. It's made it a lot harder. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And they cancel people over the smallest little thing. It's like, have you ever had that? Like where people, you said something and they just kind of went off on social and just destroyed you? No. Basically. Hopefully that will happen. Yeah, no. Yeah. I don't want that to happen. Hopefully soon. We'll get that. I think if you're canceled, you know, it's a good sign. Sometimes, like, you're big enough. Yeah. Right? Like, you're doing something wrong. Yeah. I mean, right. Chappelle, they couldn't even cancel Chappelle. I was just going to ask you about that. What do you think about that? I think it's a little crazy because if you watch his special and you watch the joke was exactly what played out in real life. Yeah. He was like predicting it. This. Yeah. And then they did it. And it's like, guys, did you not watch? You work for Netflix. Yeah. Did you not see the special? Do you not know who you have a free subscription. Yeah. Like, have you not seen any of my stuff? Like, I don't know. But if you he's always been like that. But if you watch like Eddie Murphy Raw, Chris Rock. Yeah. That's when comedy was these guys, man. And they just...
It was a joke for the sake of a joke,
Yeah.
man. It's like you were raunchy, you were rude, you were offensive. Like, that was the thing. Like, that's how you got laughs.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't know.
And they were,
It's
and they were
different.
being honest, and they were, you know,
Yeah.
talking about like some degree to their experience and stuff. So it's like, if you take that element out of it, it's not, it's hard for people to relate.
Yeah.
You know, then it just becomes like watching, you know, the news.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you take the comedy out of it, it's just like telling stories.
Yeah. I'm just going to tell jokes about like, you know, whatever news story is going on today. Then I just turn to
Yeah.
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah,
You know what I
seriously.
mean? And I don't have the hair for that.
I don't either.
So that's the thing. It's like, you know, people should not be offended, and you know, you don't want to offend people. You don't want to make people feel upset. That's not the point.
Yeah, that's not the point.
But, you know, jokes are, generally speaking, an observation of society.
You're just poking fun at something.
Yeah. You're finding something that, you know, is out of place or whatever in society, and you need that.
Yeah.
You know, that's why like the court jester could do whatever he wanted in the court, right? Whereas someone else, you know, if they mouthed off,
They can't do that.
you know, they were canceled in a bigger way.
Literally.
You know, fully canceled.
Yeah.
But you need that because, you know, if we're living in a time where things are crazy and, you know, the news is, you know, slanted one way or the other and people aren't getting the truth. And so it's kind of insane that like comedy is now the last place that you would expect, but it is where you can find like truth, right? People
Yeah.
can tell the truth, good or bad, whether you like it or not,
Yeah.
whether, you know, sometimes it's offensive.
And that's what people find offensive is when you say something that's the truth, and it doesn't kind of jibe with what their reality is. And
I mean, personally, I'm more offended when someone lies to me.
Yes.
I'm like, that's offensive
I would
to me.
agree with that.
You know,
because that's deliberate.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're deliberately, you know.
And it's insulting.
Yeah.
It's like you think I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the world we live in for better or
Yeah.
worse. And, you know, I think comedy plays a really important role in
I
that.
agree.
You know.
I agree. Comedy is very important in my life.
Yeah. I mean, everyone needs to laugh, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you turn on the news and you're like ready to jump out the
Yeah,
window.
no.
So
It got really toxic, man. In the beginning, when the pandemic first hit, I turned on the news and I didn't stop. You know, it was like 24/7 news, and it was very toxic. My anxiety was off the roof. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was going off on the kids over nothing. Like, I was just snapping and yeah, it's.
Well, so you were in the house with them
Yeah.
for probably a lot longer than you were
Yes.
used to, which doesn't help.
Yeah, that quarantine killed us, man.
Yeah.
That quarantine was horrible. That's why I'm glad I kind of live in Florida.
Yeah. The only thing quarantine was good for was divorce lawyers.
Yes. Yeah, divorce lawyers and domestic abuse lawyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was huge.
And probably substance abuse
That
counselors.
was huge, yeah. Yep.
But yeah, it was wild. But we're living in a weird time, you know, and you need people to experience that with you and bring some humor to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how you get through stuff, man, is you just, life is horrible, but you know, you got to find the comedy in it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to laugh at it.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're just going to be miserable the whole time.
Exactly. Yeah. Check it out. Dick Jokes Comedy on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, everywhere.
What do you have on your YouTube?
I'll have not all my stand-up clips, but probably 80% of them. I'm putting up more all the time. I do sketch, so I've got a bunch of sketches
comedy
up there.
Nice.
I got my reels, so I have like a stand-up comedy reel, my drama, comedy, monologues, everything.
Awesome,
It's all up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this turns into something, dude.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a cool experience. This is the second podcast I've done. The first one was Ian's.
Nice.
And,
we got to get Ian in here.
Yeah, Ian would be great.
Yeah.
He'd be such a good guest.
We can get all three of us in here, man.
Yeah,
You can come sit right here with us.
Exactly. But no, it's been fun. I mean, this is like, it's gonna be hard to come back to another one after this. This is like like I'm in the Taj Mahal of podcast studios here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
For real.
And I put a lot of work into this place, and hopefully the quality shows.
Yeah, it definitely does. So hopefully, hopefully everyone enjoys it. Has fun with it. I mean, you've had some really cool episodes.
Yeah, man. And like I said, we're just getting started. So
yeah,
hopefully this will turn into another Hot Ones or one of those like interview shows.
Yeah.
It goes for like 1 million episodes.
Yeah, the All In.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, check at BlueBox Digital on
On Instagram, there's actually a 1 at the end.
At BlueBox Digital 1 on Instagram, okay, and at BlueBox Digital on TikTok.
On TikTok, I'm trying to get the one without the 1, but some companies squatting on it right now. They don't post anything, but it's kind of like they're still there.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. And then what's your YouTube?
YouTube, I actually don't have a custom name yet, but I created a subdomain, so you can go to youtube.blueboxdigital.com.
Oh, cool.
And it'll take you to my YouTube channel.
Nice.
So yeah, we're trying to grow all the social media. I think that's a priority for me this year is trying to grow my audience and just start putting out original content, man. Because I mean I love working with clients, and I'm still gonna do that. And I love telling their stories and stuff like that. But you know, I got to tell my own. Yeah. You know, it's what I'm made to do. So.
Yeah, and it shows. I mean, I'm excited to see how Color turns out.
Yeah, me too.
For sure.
Me too.
With and without the shower curtain.
Yeah, right. Those are never gonna see the light of day. Hopefully, maybe in the DVDs extras. Do they still make those?
Yeah,
DVD extras. I
think I bought it. I have a DVD. It's so funny. I'll end with this story, but I love Seinfeld, the show. Nice. So I bought all the seasons on DVD because it wasn't available anywhere. This is like 2018 or something, or 17. And I bought them all on eBay. And then I bought a DVD player because I didn't have a DVD. I was like, there's no way to watch this. The DVD player cost less than the DVDs.
Yeah, out of here.
I went to Best Buy, and they're like, I don't even know if we still have those.
That is wild.
I was like, well, you sell DVDs, so if you don't, you're probably doing something wrong.
Jesus. Yeah, and I think for most households, I think the only DVD player and Blu-ray player is their console, like Xboxes and PlayStations. Yeah. Like I know that's the case for me. Like,
and at some point, even who knows what's going to happen with that, right? Because everything is
everything's going digital. And, I think the PS5 now that you can get it without the drive. Like you could just get it just digital, big old hard drive in it. But yeah, man. Well, thanks again for joining me, dude.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
hopefully
it.
We'll have you again when Ian comes on.
Yeah, that will be. We'll do the second coming.
Yeah, the second coming. Well, again, if you want to follow along with the podcast, we're available on all of the platforms. So Spotify, Apple Podcast, all of the episodes I'm going to be posting on YouTube. So again, that's youtube.blueboxdigital.com. On Instagram and Facebook, I'm at BlueBoxDigital1 with the 1 at the end. And then on TikTok, we're actually live streaming right now on TikTok. The account is at BlueBox Podcast. So if you guys want to follow along there, that's where I actually post little 60-second clips of the podcast. I know sometimes people don't have the time to watch the full hour or the full 45 minutes, whatever it is. So I post little clips on there, little highlights. So if you want to head over to BlueBox Podcast on TikTok, and I'm actually going to start posting BlueBox Podcast on Instagram as well. So that's where you can get a hold of us. If you want to be on the podcast, reach out, please DM me, or reach out to my email, info@blueboxdigital.com. And with that being said, man, thanks again.
It's been great, man. Thanks so much.
We'll see you next time.
Appreciate it. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and
pleasure.
We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.